finished off with a 1-3-3, having made a good clearance in frame 2. So, Joe Perry, all to play for this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of set up nicely, isn't it? This potentially, this match here could decide the group. I haven't done a real thorough check on the maths, but I've got a feeling if Mark Williams does win 3-0, I think that's as good as done, but pretty sure Lu Ning have other ideas about that. And there you see, the perfect start. That explains why he put Mark Williams in, having won the toss. Obviously likes that shot. And he looked good in the end, his first match. It's a bit of a dodgy start, wasn't it? He didn't look comfortable at all. It wasn't until a really bad bit of luck for Stephen Maguire that things changed round for Lu Ning. Turned that match around completely from being 1-0 down. So he'll come into this feeling pretty confident, but also knowing he's got to play extremely well because we've already seen Mark Williams is in good form.
No previous matches to go on between the two of them, but Lu Ning he made the 1-2-9 in that match, and in general just seems to have quickened up a bit. He was sort of getting a reputation for being a bit methodical, but 22 seconds was his average shot time in that match.
7.
Former semi-finalist at the UK Championship. One of those players here this week. There's 15 of them actually, of the 32 who've made it this far, who are yet to win a ranking title. 17 have won one, 15 haven't. So he would love to break his duck here. Of course, is what Dave Gilbert did last year. And then suddenly,
13.
champion of champions to look forward to, being the World Grand Prix. All these benefits come from winning.
Yeah, it looks like he's
20.
carrying on from where he left off against Stephen Maguire. Nice early chance this. Still a few reds nicely situated around the black spot area.
21.
Pack is very inviting as well. It looks like a nice pack to go into. We won't be doing that just yet, of course. Still a couple of loose reds to play on, but the pack does look quite inviting when he does decide to attack it. Oh, but that's almost gone wrong. And the reason he's lost the cue ball is because he potted the black
28.
slightly thin. You can see here this just catches pretty much all of the top jaw, which is why he's lost the cue ball a fraction, but he's still got this one into the right corner. Just bridging's a bit more awkward. But as we've often seen, once someone loses perfect position, don't always get back complete control. And that's what's happened there. Doesn't take a lot. Just lose perfect position.
28.
And just lose your way a little bit. So that was a missed opportunity for Lu Ning. Mark Williams has just gone a little detour. He's back. Don't worry.
I'm not sure exactly what he was doing there, but anyway. The most important thing is he's back at the table. To Lu Ning overcut that red. But it's not quite worked out. He'll be aware, I'm sure, that Lu Ning, can score heavily. He's on a pretty exclusive list of players. Only 7 on the list who've made 4 centuries in a row in a match. That was at the UK Championship 2 years ago against Matt Selt. So capable of that, alongside people like Higgins and Murphy and Robertson, and in fact Steve Maguire was in this group.
This time there is a route back to baulk for Lu Ning, but has to be careful. This red is potable. He does make sure he doesn't hit this a fraction thick, because that black will definitely be in the way. Oh, there you go. Did catch it a bit thick, and he did catch the black, but not sure Mark can get through to the red on the right hand side of the table. If he can, he'll take it on. This shot might give us an indication how confident Lu Ning's feeling. Got a straightforward return safety shot. He's also got the red on the right hand side is available. Can screw around the back of the black and go back up towards the blue and the baulk colours. We have to get close to the pot on these, otherwise the cue ball doesn't take its natural path. There you go, he's missed it thick, so relying on a bit of luck now where the balls are going to finish. And he hasn't had any. Left the red.
One.
He looked good in that first match. He had a 76 break in frame 1 against Aaron Hill, cleared up with 61 in the second, then made the 1-3-3. He already qualified for the European Masters. He made a great clearance there in the decider against Liam Highfield. Just pinch that one. He actually said during the pandemic and the lockdown and all the rest of it that people always ask players as they get older, you know, how much longer you're going to go on for, and he said, I'm going to go on for as long as I can. At any level, I'm going to carry on playing, even if eventually, which he will, drop off the tour, then seniors, he'll carry on playing. But he's got a long way to go before that's going to happen.
Oh, let's hope when I join the seniors, he has a few more years on the main tour. I've had enough of him. Been on the same tour since 1992. Do have a few years without him. No, he's been exceptional, hasn't he? His whole career. Started winning at a very early age, winning tournaments and competing at the business end of everything. Yep, credit to the sport. And this is the one thing he's always done his whole career. He's never been one 15. For losing position, playing a bad shot and carrying it on to the next shot. He always just manages to keep himself at that right frame of mind to play the correct shot at the right time. And that's why he's always been up around the top of the rankings. That's why he's so successful.
Yeah, he lost his way a little bit there, but he managed a good recovery pot on the red, which has allowed him to lay this snooker. Blue's got to be careful here, he doesn't chip a red into play and leave it on. Like that.
Yeah, them little intricate details that Mark Williams possesses. You know, he purposely put the cue ball that side behind the green, meaning Lu Ning had no option but to play the shot he played. Mark Williams wouldn't want to leave it the other side because it was an easy escape. All these little things, they're all intended, all intentional, lots of skill and tactical nous. But you can't allow for missing in amongst the balls. Doesn't happen very often with Mark Williams. He's missed that one.
1.
Choice here for Lu Ning. Can play a delicate little cannon on the red on the extreme left, or which will guarantee him a red, or he can just play into the bunch and hope for the best. Yeah, played the precise cannon, played it well. And now, if he wishes,
8.
can play the red at the bottom of the pack and screw off the others to bring them into play. So very quickly, every ball could be in a potable position.
Nine.
Remember, they're playing here to get into the final phase of the Championship League. 2 groups on Friday. Winner of each group test a knockout final.
$14.
So the shot Lu Ning had previously, which he refused, he's got again, only this time it's a little bit tougher. Perfect on it the time before, but chose not to play it. But like I say, he has played it this time. It was a lot tougher this time.
15.
He can count himself a little bit fortunate there to land on the brown.
It's interesting, I was saying earlier that speeded up a bit, but this match he seems to have slowed down again, maybe just reflecting the importance of it.
Maybe his friend told him after the first match that his shot time was the low 20s. So he's reverted back to type. Yeah, I think he has speeded up a little bit,
19.
but he obviously knows the importance of this first frame. All the frames are important, but if you can go 1-0 up in a 4-frame match, you put yourself in a very strong position.
$20.
So at least by 31. Red with a big colour here.
27.
And Mark Williams needs a snooker. Williams did have that chance, but just missed the red to right corner.
$28.
It's black then. Williams requires snookers.
$35.
Remember, Lu Ning beat Stephen Maguire, so he has got maximum points so far.
$36. $43. $45.
He's definitely a player
48.
with a reputation for, being hard to beat. Lu Ning, 34 in the world. So he has won a group to get this far. Indeed, he won all 3 of his matches in that group.
52. $57.
Pretty studiously gone about this.
$63.
Oh, very nonchalant black as well. 70 the clearance
On the first frame.
from Lu Ning. So that's the first frame Mark Williams has lost today. Lu Ning leads 1-0. So Lu Ning leads Mark Williams 1-0. This is the evening session on the first day of Winners' Week, stage 2 of the Bet Victor Championship League. Williams won his first match earlier on, 3-0 against Aaron Hill. Lu Ning also won his first match, 3-1 against Steve Maguire. Lu Ning has another match to play against Aaron Hill. The last match will be Williams against Maguire. Hossein Vafai and Lu Shan on table 2 are still in their first frame. Vafai, if he wins that match, will win the group because there's been 2 draws in between, both involving Jimmy Robertson. Mark Williams just waiting patiently here for frame 2. Could be a very tight finish still to this group because there's 3 players who can still win it, of course. Williams, his opponent here, Lu Ning, and Steve Maguire, despite losing that opening match. This is what's happening live on table 2. Lu Shan 20 points ahead against Hossein Vafai, but has left a chance here on the penultimate red. Vafai 2 centuries and an 89 first up. Of course, he made a maximum in recent European Masters qualifying. YouTube and Matchroom Live have all the live action from table 2. So, back here on table 1, Lu Ning leads 1-0. Made a very solid 70 there in the first frame. But will not be happy with that break-off.
Yeah, you're right, Dave. Played a very good first frame and then completely undone it with that break-off, but potentially has.
Mark Williams
again.
1.
Uncharacteristically, this is a easy pot, I'd have to say, for someone of his calibre. Oh, look.
Yeah, I just wondered, Joe, the schedule obviously, he played first on, played really well, but was done by about 12:30, so he's had 4.5 hours to play again. I guess he would have liked, ideally, to have got a match in before now.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Dave. You know, sometimes winning 3-0 that quickly can ultimately go against you, because, you know, you're not going to spend the rest of the afternoon practicing. So you do sort of sit around and wait for your next game, but wouldn't have expected it to affect someone like Mark Williams, but clearly he's not at that level he was at when he finished this afternoon. But fortunately, wasn't punished for that mistake, and he's back at the table.
Yeah, the danger here, because we get looked after so well at the morning side, is there's a lot of biscuits and all sorts of treats available in that players' room, including today Phil Yates' 60th birthday cake, which I can confirm is delicious.
8.
Yeah, as much as I enjoy being in here with
9.
yourself and Phil, it's doesn't do the old waistline much good. A few days at the Morningside. Oh, how's your luck? It's not bad. He's pulled a bit of a grimace there, but I think he'll be okay when he gets round and sees this
16.
red into the right middle. Always chancing a little bit to luck, but when you go into him at that speed, you expect to have a crack at something. And if he can just pop this red in the middle, I think he can get through the gap, play out for one of the lower value colours, or even maybe just screw across for the pink in the same middle. Oh, that's what he played, but he misjudged the pot,
Mark
which is why he
Williams,
misjudged
16.
the position. And this is a bit edgy from Mark Williams.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of earlier sharpness just seems to have gone in the interim. As I say, over 4 hours. Last match, and earlier on he was getting those sort of shots. Lu Shan won that first frame against Hussein Vafai. So there's still time for that group to be shaken up as well.
Obviously, flying object just impeding Lu here. But having gone into the reds and then missed the next pot, Mark Williams has pretty much done a lot of the hard work here for Lu Ning. And we've already seen he's in pretty decent touch. Hasn't got a lot to do here, just keep control of the cue ball. There's plenty of reds to go at, just keep popping that cue ball into an area. Would have liked the blue back on the spot there. I think he will still end up playing it, but yeah, it's always nice to have the high value colours on their spots. Makes break building so much easier.
Six. Seven.
Yeah, the reds are spread, but got to be a little bit careful with these first few shots. So where this pink now spots, or it's on its own spot, or just behind it, will make a difference to how straightforward this break's going to be for Lu Ning. Well, there you can see, so it's tied up one of the loose reds, so this is not going to be straightforward at all
14.
here. You have to work hard for this break.
A
little bit short pace again. Just needed that cue ball to run. Another 2 or 3 inches. You've got a choice of 3 reds. As it is, he's got a choice of 2, but neither are that nice. This one, the safer option of the 2. He's taking the cue ball away.
$22. 27.
Williams has made a few unexpected errors here, which are contributing to the position he finds himself in.
28. 35.
Oh, hop for the blue. There's another loose red on the left-hand side of the table.
36.
I'm going to say I would suggest probably a good idea to go into the 4 reds off this blue. He catches the pink, the left side as we look. We're using the other red as a stopper. Highly unlikely not to land on a ball, should that be the case. What he mustn't do here, if he plays into the 4 balls, is hit the right side of the pink. Yep, that was pretty much as played. And he's got a red, that's all you can ever ask.
41. Touching ball. Okay. 42.
So he's got 25-point lead. Need not just the 2 reds in the middle of the table, but at least one more.
$45. 46.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the
53.
2 reds together, if you can play the bottom one now, or if not now, maybe see exactly where he needs to put the cue ball next time round, so he can land on that red closest to the left corner without playing a cannon. That will make his job a whole lot easier. I think if he can get the cue ball somewhere where it is now, slightly fraction lower down,
54.
I think he'll have a part of that red, but where he's left the cue ball, he may even be able to play a cannon here and take all the risk out of the equation. Depends how he sees it. He normally sort of errs on the side of caution. We'll see. If it's a natural angle to play into the middle red of the 3, then there's no reason not to play it. No, he did play it. He didn't play it very well, so he'd like to play that one again. I think he'd
61.
next time round. I think he'd just play and leave the cue ball in an area where he could have just chipped that red down the cushion. But anyway, he didn't. And the situation now is 44 ahead with 51 remaining. But unfortunately for Lu Ning, he's got probably the worst opponent you could possibly have in this position, sitting in the other chair. Normally icy calm when it comes to frame-winning clearances, so he'll be on guard here not to leave Mark Williams any kind of attacking shot.
Lu Ning,
Yes, it's still
61.
rather dangerous passage of play for Lu Ning. Good 61, but Williams, A, is a great safety player. He's great at forcing openings, and as we know, just from today, he's great at making clearances as well. He made one against Aaron Hill in that second frame.
Yeah, it's all about percentages now for Lu Ning. Does he stick or twist? Does he play cautious, try and keep Mark Williams at bay, or does he pop frame ball, pop the red, which puts an end to this frame?
Well, he went for broke. That was the ball he needed, as you say. Now it's out of his hands.
One. Eight.
Yeah, that very rare show of emotion for Mark Williams is because he didn't play the shot as intended. He was looking just to come past that red, but
9.
didn't really matter. It wasn't a slice of luck, it was just a slightly misjudgment. He's always going to have the choice of the reds. So now, just assuming that Mark Williams do what he does and get to the green. He actually put that green safe on his final safety shot. So
16.
it looks like it's going to be the crucial ball in this frame. Any colour off this last red will be enough, so all the colours to win. Again, it looks like it's going to be all about that green to brown.
17.
He plays that one correctly. Probably go on and level the scores.
Twenty-two. 24.
'Well,
Williams,
he's got second prize.
24.
Green's not in, but it's covered. But even so, that's a clear chance to clear up for one each.
There'll be a player sitting at home watching this field by the name of Michael Holt. He'll be shouting at the TV saying he's never done that against me. And I think I'm with him. I mean, all the times I've played Mark Williams, he's never not cleared up from that position. So Lu Ning might feel he's a bit unlucky to be left in this situation. He won't be feeling unlucky now. He's potted the green. Unbelievable.
What will Holty be shouting at the TV now, having seen that, I wonder? And of course, that was all he needed, this green. 23 in front now with 22 on. Dear me. So he's guaranteed a point,
Sam.
and moving towards all three, which would, of course, put him top of the table with Aaron Hill still to come. Lu Ning, who won all 3 matches in the first stage, has this in his hands now. Because if he wins this and beats Aaron Hill, he's the group winner, regardless of what happens in the last match. So Lu Ning has played 2 solid frames, you've got to say, breaks of 70 and 61. And he's got this frame on the board. He leads 2-0. So Mark Williams to break in frame 3. Thought he got away with covering that green, but in it went nonetheless. So Lu Ning 2-0 up, and as I say, if he can win this match now, then he's got to be the favourite in this group with another match still to play before what we thought might be the deciding contest between Williams and Maguire. It might not be now. Talk quite a lot about the strength, depth on tour, but also within the Chinese contingent now. There's huge strength in depth. We've seen, of course, Ding for many years be the #1, but now, of course, Xia Xingtong, Yan Bingtao. Last season, Fang Zhengyi won a ranking event. And there's various other players from that part of the world coming back in this tournament this week. Well, another chance straight away here for Lu Ning. Now, a respot next door on table 2. The same for Fai and Lu Haishan, another Chinese player there. Yeah, he won the first frame, but Vafai hoping to win this frame on a respot and level up. So we'll stay with this. On for the double. Ooh, close to it. That's always the danger, isn't it? The sort of stock shot now seems to be to put black on the cushion. You can invite that. The problem is, though, if you go for the double, then you could leave it on. Left a chance for 2-0. And in it goes. So Lu Haishan 2-0 up against Hussein Vafai. Of course, Vafai in a similar position to Williams. He played so well in his first match, but that was over by about 12:30 British time. So a good 4.5 hours till his second.
Six.
Yeah, so Lu Ning in again, and he has played very well in this match, very solid when the chances have come his way. He hasn't had to do a lot to get the chances. They've been sort of handed to him, really, but can't do anything about that. All he can do is make the most of the chances when they come.
7.
So needs to play little cannon here. The black will respot. You can see it's all pretty congested around there, so just got to try and work out how these balls are going to react when he nudges into them. Yeah, and he didn't really do anything there, did he? Didn't really commit to that. Could have screwed off them 3 reds, back for the red below the black spot. He could have played it a lot firmer, tried to get a few more balls moving around. He's sort of done neither, and that's why he's on nothing.
Lu Ning, 14.
Hard to know really these days in snooker what counts as an upset, because we used to say fine performances from players all down the ranking list. Just last night here, European qualifiers, Scott Donaldson beat John Higgins. That is an upset, but of course Scott had played in this. Higgins was coming in first match of the season, made a very slow start. But we saw Mark Allen on last Thursday night play brilliantly in his last group match. The group had actually been decided, so he was playing with a lot of freedom. But then he lost to Farrah Kajaib, who dropped off the tour, was playing as a top-up as qualifiers, and that was a surprise. So shocks can still happen.
Yeah, you'll probably know the answer to this, Dave. Years ago, before the game went open, did you get the odd match where number like 90 in the world would beat one of the top 8 in a sort of TV stages of an event?
Not really, no. I mean that would be very rare. There was an occasion where Ty Pitchett beat Stephen Hendry 5-0. Came out of nowhere. He was a player from Thailand, sort of unheralded, but no, you didn't used to get that. I think, to be fair, and it wasn't arrogance, but I think a lot of the top players of 30 years ago, they would sort of look through the draw to see where the threats would be. They sort of almost taken the first few rounds for granted a little bit. But you certainly can't do that now.
Come a bit too far, did I? Okay.
So not in any real trouble here, Mark Williams, but if he misses it for a second time, he will be. Obviously, he's not going to do that. And he's put Lu Ning back exactly where he just played from. What a fantastic safety shot that was. Took him 2 goes, mine, but got there in the end.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's not a bad return either, is it? It's a part of the game that doesn't really get talked about a lot because we see so many great pots and big breaks, fantastic break builders on tour now, but it's still a very important part of the game. You've got to be able to mix it in the safety department, especially against people like Mark Williams, otherwise you just never get to see a ball. If you can't hold your own tactically, just shut you out completely. Well, there's a nice little shot here for Lu Ning. Red below the pink is potable. The natural angle is to come round towards the yellow and brown, so pretty much a free crack at this. That's a hell of a target now, the yellow and brown. Expect someone of Mark Williams' skill to be able to put the cue ball in that area. And be expecting to lay a snooker here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, not difficult to hit a red by any means, but it's hard to see how he can get this safe. There's a few reds he can land on, which would be safe, but the route to get to them is not available. You have to play a very, very perfect weight escape to where he's looking now. If he can rest on these two reds, I'm not sure if the red sort of just to the right, the top one of the two of the black, if that pots into left corner, then he's in a hell of a lot of trouble. If that red doesn't pass, he can land on the two reds just to the left of the black spot. It all really depends whether that red passes the black or not. Looks like he's going to opt for the two cushion. Glance the red on the way back. And as you can see, the natural angle's not there, so he's playing this with lots of check side to straighten the cue ball up when it hits that back cushion.
Mark Williams.
This is going to be very difficult to judge.
Happy there? Yeah. You happy there? It's simple. You could see the pink ball fall through the centre. That's what I was looking at. If I come across here, you're not going to see the pink. Okay?
No.
Right, I can come back a little bit more and that's
Lu
it.
Ning isn't entirely happy
If I come across, you're not going to see the
with
pink.
the part of the cushion he
definitely see
can
the
now
pink.
hit as opposed to the first time.
Yeah, okay.
Mark Williams saying he'll
You
accept
happy there?
if the player
Yeah.
stipulates where it is, he'll accept it. So here we go. Oh, maybe not.
Okay. Yeah. Foul and a miss for Mark Williams. Put it back.
Yeah, he didn't really get much closer on that attempt. He's playing this with side just to straighten it up off the second cushion, but by how far he's missed the reds by on each occasion, I'm not sure he needs the
Check
side.
that for me, please, Nick.
I think he can probably play this plain ball and catch the red. Obviously, being a snooker on all balls, he doesn't have to worry about the free miss rule.
No, the worst result would be to just leave Williams in amongst them all.
Foul and a miss for.
Well, that time he didn't use the check side and he got a little bit closer, so I would expect Lu Ning to either hit it or get very close the next time.
I think John Pellou's got a slight problem with his zapper. That operates the scoreboard in the arena.
Four.
Don't you just love technology?
Get back, Mark. You happy there, Mark? Thank you.
So this is the 4th attempt. We got close. But it'll keep being called a miss, of course, because there's so many reds
and a
there.
miss for Mark Williams. Get back.
Yeah, that was close to being a free ball, wasn't it? Another form revolution of the cue ball there. It would have been behind the green, and
You happy then? Yeah.
with a free ball, Mark Williams could have quite easily potted the brown. But again, he got even closer again that time, so fully expect him to hit it within the next couple of attempts. And there you go. So we got there in the end, and it was at the expense of 16 points, but it's far better to give 16 points away than a golden opportunity for your opponent.
Record, as far as we know, for successive misses is 16, held by Stuart Bingham. A frame against Jimmy White about a decade ago in one of the old PTC events. But he still won the frame in the end. He had a big break to win it. But he's given away. I mean, I don't know where the cue ball was. I dread to think actually where it must have been. But he still won the frame.
Must have been in Jimmy's pocket, I should think. Well, Stuart's one of the, I would have him down as one of the more knowledgeable players of the angles. He's very, very good in that department, but obviously that one stumped him. So is this cue ball going to keep rolling behind the yellow, or is it going to leave this red? I think it's just pulled up in time, so it was a good shot from Lu Ning.
Yeah, it's become a bit of a tense standoff, this.
Foul and a miss for Lu Ning.
So suddenly it's Mark Williams being called for misses. Lu Haishan looks like he's not too far away from wrapping up victory next door, so that would certainly shake things up
Put it back down there.
in that group. As I say, Hossein Vafai went into that match needing to win it to win the group, but that has not happened, it seems.
I think you could give me a hand here, please, Mark. Over that. Up with it. You happy there? Yeah. Thank you.
To confirm, Lu Haishan has won 3-0, so that of course puts him onto 4 points. He stays on to play Michael Judge. Hossein Vafai remains on 3. Of course, that means if Haishan were to beat Michael Judge, he'd go to 7 points, which means suddenly Vafai can't win the group. So that is a real turnaround if that happens.
It looks like there's a path back to balk here for Mark, but I'll be a little bit careful. There's a little bit of traffic potentially in the way on the route back. Just to make sure he catches the first red exactly how intended. He's got the option, of course, just to play a containing safety shot, but He'd be reluctant to do that because he's probably just getting himself another shot. He'll probably find himself back in a similar position next time he comes to the table, so he's looking to gain the upper hand if possible. Wow, how about that for a shot? That was incredibly difficult. Acknowledged there by Lu Ning. He knows how difficult that was. To catch that red so thin, to firstly miss the knuckle of the corner pocket and then to miss the pink. Fractionally missed the pink. Well played and well thought out.
One.
Well, not a lot Mark Williams can do about that. Played a fantastic safety shot, and a couple of the reds collided with each other and formed a perfectly set plant for Lu Ning. So again, ball was just working in the favour of Lu Ning. And now he's knocked that brown in, come down to the reds. He's in a great position here. Okay, the black's out of commission, but
5.
the pink will probably soon be back on its spot. There's plenty of loose reds. So this is a chance to wrap up the match here.
Yeah, and it was encouraging to see him take that brown on, because the way the frame had gone, wouldn't have been surprised if it had rolled up to the yellow. It was so sort of edgy and tense, but he's decided to go for the jugular here. Saw a chance. It's in his hands now, whether he can make enough to wrap this up.
6. 12. 13.
'Not going to be a easy, straightforward run to the line here. Even though the reds are spread, they've got to be got on correctly. Don't all go into many pockets.
19.
Got to keep tight control of the cue ball, but he's already 25 ahead. These 3 reds with pinks will put him 46 ahead, so he's be very close
20.
to the winning line. And I think Lu Ning's day really sums up why you have to always be switched on as a snooker player and keep your mind in the present, not get too disheartened, because in his first match against Steve Maguire, he was all at sea, looked like going 2-0 down, but for a very unfortunate run of the ball from Stephen Maguire when he potted a blue, went into the reds and a red went in. Ever since then, Lu Ning has won every frame he's played.
26. 27.
Well, if he can win this one, then it will be in his hands going into the next match against Aaron Hill. If he wins that one as well, then the group winner. If not, then it comes down to Williams-Maguire.
33. 34.
So it gets a little bit trickier from here on in. Again, still not sure whether the red second closest to the left corner pocket pots past the black. It does. You can play on that red quite comfortably here, just stun down between the gap of the 4 reds. We'll soon know after the way he plays this shot. So it doesn't pot. He's going to have to try and play a cannon or possibly another plant.
Well,
the way he's walking around tells us it does pot. So that was a nicely played shot. Also flicked the other red into play. And now this really is a golden opportunity.
41.
But just as he was about to get over the winning line, he's finished wrong side of the blue. Take a good pot now to pot this pink and power stun down the table. Leave himself a red into the same pocket. Match ball, you feel.
Well, you can see the relief actually in him as he pots that, and if he can see this through now, then he will need just a draw actually in his next match with Aaron Hill, not even a win, because he would be, with a draw he'd be on 7 points. The most Williams or Maguire could get to would be 6. First things first though, get this frame one.
Yep.
48.
Red, pink, red will be enough. And although Mark Williams has not been at his usual best in this match, you have to give credit to Lu Ning. He's been extremely solid when the chances have come his way. 2 good breaks to win the first 2 frames, and this has been an exceptional visit. It wasn't easy when he come to the table.
54.
That's right, he just seems to have that toughness. He competed in the safety as well. I said earlier, he's becoming a hard player to beat. If he can knock this red in, then it looks like moves up to 6 points.
55.
So how things have turned around, because coming into this evening session, Mark Williams and Hussein Fafai were looking both the favourites to progress, but as it stands, could yet be a Chinese double. Lu Haishan on table 2, looking to wrap it up. And Lu Ning, if he can win 2 frames in his last match coming up against Aaron Hill, he'll be the group winner.
60.
Yeah, he stuck to his task
61.
very well throughout the course of this match. He had 3 solid half centuries. This could yet be a century.
68. 69.
We had 7 Chinese group winners from the first phase, from 32 groups in the opening stage of the Championship League. Are we going to have 2
76.
through to Friday already after day 1 of phase 2?
77.
Well, he's going to be in a perfect frame of mind going into that last match. He'll be brimming with confidence the way he's played here. Stephen Maguire and Mark Williams will be hoping that
84.
Aaron Hill can do them a favour.
85.
Yeah, Hill has got to win that match. Otherwise, Lu Ning will be coming back on Friday, regardless of what happens between Williams and Maguire. What a turnaround. These 3-0s, they can make a big difference, as we've seen tonight on both tables.
92.
So maybe Williams wasn't
94.
quite as sharp as in his first match, but Lu Ning has played a very good match here. Trying to try to bend that in. It didn't happen, but 94 will do very nicely. It follows efforts of 70 and 61. The 94 to complete victory then at 3-0. And Lu Ning needs just a draw in his last match against Aaron Hill, and he will be our group